All right, so tell me your full name, please.
My name is Youngchan Chang.
Okay. And do you work or are you a student?
I'm a student now.
Could you tell me about your major?
I'm taking logistics as my major, which is support people to shorten and simplify the process of supplying items to the market. I guess it's useful and practical for people to maximize their income and economize their expenditure on some items.
And do you like your major?
Absolutely not, because I lost my interest in my specialization. Unfortunately, I make a concerted effort to change my specialization in data science, because contemporary people regard it as opportunity to get a decent job and get some meaningful rewards such as a high salary.
Okay. And what do you like to do when you have some free time?
Honestly, when I develop some Steam, I play video games or have a conversation with my bosom friends. Because it's the best way to alleviate my stress from studies and parents-related pickings, namely, and force me to get a job.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about memory. So are you good at remembering things?
Certainly, yes. I can say that. I can memorize vocabulary, some sentences, including some thesis, knowledge, and so on. Thanks to it, I've gotten a good academic score for some tests, namely midterm tests or final tests at my university.
And what is your method of remembering things?
In fact, I divide into 4 sections or 5 sections according to subject. First day, I do mathematics, or second day, or science, and another subject. So I can manage my time and my skills systematically.
Okay. And have you ever forgotten something that was very important?
If I recall correctly, when I was traveling to the east part of Europe, I wrote my passport. So it took me over 5 hours to find it back.
Okay. And why do some people have a good memory but others do not?
In my opinion, it depends on their gene, which means their parents inherit their techniques and abilities to their small ones. So, for this reason, people have different memories according to their parents or ancients.
Okay. Let me give you a couple of more questions let's talk about cars. Okay, so do you enjoy traveling by car?
Surely yes, because it's the best way to mitigate my study, claiming stress from my test. Besides, I enjoy the speed of limits caused by automobiles. And once a week, I try to utilize my cars to spend a plethora of time doing some activities with my friends.
Okay. And do you prefer to be a driver or passenger in a car?
Actually, I had to choose one. I would select a passenger because I concentrate on having a conversation. That means communicating with others instead of driving. Driving make people feel tired and some obnoxious. It's stressful for me.
Okay. All right. That'll do us for part 1. Okay, so we'll move on to part 2 of the test now. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So here's your question, mate, and there's a pencil for you. So I'll give you 1 minute to make some notes. All right. So yeah, you can begin. All right, mate. That is 1 minute. Okay, so your part 2 question. Could you describe a famous athlete you know?
Off the top of my head, this question reminds me of Georges St. Pierre, who is the 5th welterweight champion in UFC. If my story is right, I came across his competition a couple of years ago when I was a freshman. I'm fond of both combat sports, such as mixed martial arts, taekwondo, and so on. Because it supports me to escape from my endless boring daily routines, which means thanks to it, I can pull off something. Anyway, his enthusiasm and efforts to get a champion belt before touched my heart because I knew how competitive he was, and he's a good man in the name of a fighter and a father, parents. He's well known for a donator in the world also. In this respect, I admire him. Moreover, when he's got a champion belt and achieve his first goal, he struck cold with audience, including myself. In a sense, I dare to do the same as what he did. I also dreaming of be a pro fighter in the future, one day, someday, or so. So in conclusion, he has a special place in my heart, and when he became champion, is my unforgettable memory.
Okay, that's 2 minutes. Yeah. All right, Georges St. Pierre. So you're a UFC fan. Okay. How long have you been watching MMA?
I've been doing for over 5 hours. 5 years.
5 years?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Nice, man. Sounds good. Do you think is that sport popular in your country?
Actually not. It's not in vogue for Korean because I guess hitting their face and someone makes people tremble with fear.
Okay. All right. Nice one. Let's go on to part 3 now. Let's keep going. Okay, so first question. What characteristics do you think an athlete should have?
From my point of view, sportsmen should have sportsmanship because they do sparring or go through competitions according to fair rules. Furthermore, they should make concerted effort to achieve their certain aims, such as receiving gold medal in Olympics or getting a champion belt. So those factors are essential for athletes.
Okay. And why do you think there are so few top athletes?
To my knowledge, we can't deny that top position exists for only one person, champion, a gold medal, and so on. So we have to accept that no matter how hard we try to reach top position, that doesn't mean everyone can fulfill their performance, unfortunately. Therefore, for those reasons, few top sportsmen exist in the world.
Okay. And in your country, what kind of exercise do people like to do?
From my perspective, it depends on their ages. If you're talking about elder citizens, they're fond of jogging and just walking in the public park. I guess most of them are fond of concentrating on keeping their healthy lives. On the flip side, people who are about my age or youngsters are keen on doing some activities, namely, soccer, basketball, baseball, as well as some water combat sports. I guess through these sports, they can alleviate the stress from ordinary days and bored to death. Thus, I can say that.
Okay. Yeah. And do you think the activities that people do these days are very different from the activities people did in the past?
The difference, yes. In my opinion, in the past, people was able to play some simple actions and pastimes such as just soccer and basketball. That's all people was able to do. However, but now we can do extreme sports and water combat sports involving some special actions, namely climbing, paragliding, and so on. So, yeah, there's a huge distinction between old days and now.
And why do people like to watch sports on TV?
From my experience, there's a direct fact that live sports require people to spend a large amount of time in appreciating. So, in this case, people want to economize their expenditure on sports. For this reason, they prefer to appreciate sports on their televisions. Furthermore, we can watch sports and shows regardless of places and time. Therefore, for those reasons, people are fond of watching sports through their televisions.
And what's the main difference between watching sports on TV and watching sports in a stadium?
Well, from my perspective, when people appreciate the life of sports, they can be conveyed with enthusiasm and emotions vividly. However, live sports watching live sports through TV make people feel bored to death and sometimes melancholy because there's a limit to how they can feel others' emotions and the sportsman's efforts and endeavors to win. So there is a huge difference between appreciating sports show through TV and live.
Okay, that'll do us, mate. Finish the test. Thank you. All right. So, young Chen, okay, so test is done now. Okay, nice test. You answered every question pretty clearly. I'd say your score is probably going to be around a 6. Around that, I would say today. That'd be estimation. Yeah. You do have a lot of vocabulary and a lot of expressions. You express yourself clearly for the most part. One thing I would say is just be careful with overusing like idioms and expressions when they're not really fitting the situation. Okay, so like if we just give a couple of examples, would be like George St. Pierre, GSP, he has a special place in my heart. You said that. That sounds like more of a personal thing, you know. So I wouldn't really use that for a celebrity. He's a special place in my heart. Or another example, like he struck gold. That sounds like just being very lucky about something. Something very good comes to you. He struck gold. I don't think they're really like appropriate for that situation. Yeah. And one time he said, live sports make people feel bored to death. Bored to death is a very like extreme one, you know. So, and you did use that expression a couple of times as well. So I would just, idioms are good, expressions are good, but don't try to like force them in, you know. I feel like sometimes they just weren't fitting exactly and you were just trying to use them. Like, obviously, you know, using good vocabulary and expressions is important, but sometimes you can speak simply as well. Yeah, speaking simply is not a problem. Other times when we're finishing our sentences, like therefore, for these reasons, like in conclusion, you don't really need to do that in the IELTS speaking part. Just try and end your answers with intonation to show that you're finished. Yeah, so, you know, obviously when we do the writing part of the IELTS test, it's very important to have structure and conclusions, but in the speaking part, we don't really need to do that. But yeah, you spoke really well. A few small grammar errors. Let's just look at a couple of them, okay? I asked you some questions. You said actually not. Just make sure actually I don't. Actually I don't for that one. A little bit about word choice, right? A little bit about word choice. Like receive a gold medal or get a gold medal. I'd probably say like won. He won the gold medal. She won the gold medal here. Okay. And talking about your like watching MMA, it supports me to escape. I'd probably say it allows me to escape from my stress. Yeah. What else have we got? You said about why do some people have a good memory and some people don't? He said their gene. I'd say make sure you have a plural there. Their genes, and their parents inherit their genes. I would say children inherit like from their parents. Yeah, so children inherit their gene. Okay. What else have we got here? Like I try to utilize my car. I'd probably say, like, if we were to change that, I'd probably say, I go for a drive. Yeah, I go for a drive to clear my mind. So I try to utilize my car to alleviate my stress. That's okay, but maybe I go for a drive to clear my mind. Sounds a little bit more natural. Yeah, so we'll try and like use some of those expressions. Yeah, one more word choice, like GSP, he said he's donator. I would say like he donates to charity. He gives money to charity. So I'll give you this. You can have a look at it properly. But yeah, it was a good test, man. So